Welcome to Louisiana! Nice hat. Okay, it's official. Bourbon Street is absolutely bonkers. That is so good. There's a lot of drunk people. I feel very honored to be here.
They are about to get it done.
We're Marion and Chris. In 2018, we quit the 9-to-5 and bought Trudy, our camper van.
We are currently on an adventure to drive the circumference of the world.
Today, we are heading right up to New Orleans, but over the past few days, we've had a fantastic time. We want to say a massive thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Adventure, Drew and Brittany, for lending us your parents to go and stay with. We had a great time. We have the state map on the side of the van.
Yes, we do.
And every time we go to a new state, we're going to stick a new one on.
And Tim
has the honors.
has the honour of Florida.
Since I live here in Florida.
No pressure.
Social pressure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, good job. And also thank you to everybody that turned up for the meetup that we did on Fort Myers. Absolutely amazing to meet so many of you on the road, and special thanks to Sonia and Dwight for taking us out for lunch.
In fact, the drive from Florida to New Orleans is a massive drive, up to 12 hours depending on how fast Trudy wanted to go. So we decided to stop and have a pit stop at Zara and Alex's house. So thank you so much for the patlijan, the Turkish breakfast, and even a sucuk and egg sandwich pat lunch. So thank you to everybody.
And thanks to the guys that made the P-Day. We met a Turkish family on the way up on the drive.
Yeah, Gigi, thank you.
They gave us Turkish love as well. They've actually got a weather warning today for high winds, and it's a little bit blowing. Thank you for visiting Florida. Alabama state line. We're in Alabama, baby.
Woo!
We've just pulled over into one of the rest stops. Every time you cross a state line here in America, there is basically a rest stop, and inside there is tourist information. You can get free maps and things like that. We're just crossing across the bottom of Alabama here today. So we haven't collected maps because we'll be in New Orleans later in a couple of hours. We're just making some coffee.
We are stopping for a break. It's so good. These long drives are not to be underestimated. So we make drinks and coffees and snacks, and then we just drive for hours, and it's amazing. I'm loving these roads.
And the rest stops have the signs, which is perfect for a quick selfie. Coffee made, let's carry on to New Orleans. We just turned off. We're just approaching the city of Mobile here in Alabama, and a nice skyline and a huge warship there on the left. Welcome to Mississippi. Welcome to Louisiana.
Woo! Don't leave me hanging.
So we're just heading over this crazy long bridge, and New Orleans is just the other side of the lake here. Big bridge.
Massive.
Welcome to New Orleans. Yes, and it's rush hour. We just had a car of people just go past, all waving like crazy, shouting, "We're from Turkey!" So yeah, so hi guys, and thanks for the wave. So tonight we've booked a boondocking site at somebody's house, and we've got about 7.5 miles to go. Just fight the traffic a little bit. Shh, the police are next to us. Okay, we're nearly there. Straight to the end, turn right, and then it should be just there. So we had a fantastic night's sleep here at this Boondockers in New Orleans. What a great concept. People very kindly offer up their homes for you to park in their driveway. So thank you very much for doing that for us.
Thanks, Mandy and Jasper. And their stay is called the Big Easy because the city we're in is also called the Big Easy, New Orleans.
Which is where we're gonna go and check out this morning. And the first thing is heading into the city to try and find somewhere to park. We were so excited, we forgot the step and we forgot that we had chucks and...
That's how excited we were to go to New Orleans.
But before we do, we want to say a huge thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video.
We've been using Surfshark VPN for the past few years, way before they started sponsoring us, and I would not hesitate to recommend them. But first, what is a VPN?
VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Basically, it creates an encrypted tunnel which keeps you safe while you're surfing online. There are so many benefits to using Surfshark. Firstly, it allows you to browse privately so nobody can track or steal your data. It hides your location, blocks ads and malware, keeps you safe while you're using public Wi-Fi, and keeps all your searches private. We love the fact that by simply changing your virtual location, it puts you somewhere else in the world.
If only driving around the world were that easy.
And that allows you to unlock content that wouldn't normally be available to you. What's more, if there's more than one of you in your household, Surfshark VPN is the only VPN company that allows use on an unlimited number of devices. To get started, simply click the link in the description below, use the code TREADTHEGLOBE, and you get a whopping 83% discount and 3 months free. Back to the show. Welcome to New Orleans downtown, and there should be a car park we found online literally just round the corner, so fingers crossed. It's Saturday morning, it's bright and early, so it should all be good. So to park for the day for 10 hours it is $10, which is a bargain for New Orleans, because New Orleans the parking is like $30–40 when you look online. And if you're wondering where it is, we're literally just down the road from the World War II Museum. So we're going to start our day in New Orleans by heading to the French Quarter, which is the place to go and something we've always wanted to do. It's about 1.5 miles walk, so we get our morning exercise too.
Yeah, I'm really excited to come and visit. My mum and dad came here about 25 years ago, and for me it's a bit of a reminiscing place.
We've literally just started walking down and already the buildings have a different feel. Looks like they also do cycle tours.
We've just come across the statue of Jean-Baptiste Le Moyne de Bienville, who is the founder of New Orleans.
So this is a sign of the Mississippi that looks so familiar, the paddle boat. New Orleans is located on the Mississippi, and we've just wandered down and there is indeed a paddle boat literally right here.
I've just checked out with one of the staff. If you want to come out and do a tour, they do tours with dinner for $60, and without the dinner and drinks, it's $39. It's definitely worth it if you've got lots of time here.
If you remember, we saw one in Savannah which had a fake back on. So yeah, this is the real deal.
Wow, walking along the side of the Mississippi River, how iconic is this place? We've just come across a lovely little old rusty fence that is loads and loads of padlocks attached, and it says "Love Wins," which is beautiful.
So we've made our way down into the central of the French Quarter down here in New Orleans. One of the things you have to try is a beignet, and there is a very famous place to have it called Café du Monde. I'm looking, that massive queue that you can see behind is actually the queue to get in to buy a beignet. It's going from there all the way down the street to down there. I reckon that's pretty nuts. What do you reckon?
Now, I love donuts. Any of our friends and family watching this will be going, yeah, she's a bit of a donut. But even I'm not sure that that long queue is something I'm prepared to do.
It's funny how social media, Instagram and posts make a place so famous that you end up queuing for hours when there's probably lots of places around New Orleans that sell beignets. So we're gonna go and find another one. We're from the UK.
Hello,
England.
UK. Hello, England.
Hi.
I'm Bruce.
Chris. Nice to meet you, Bruce. Bruce is just recommending another beignet place for us. So yeah,
And
thank you for your
They
recommendation.
are about to get it done.
There you go, without the queue.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
What a lovely chat. Bruce, if you're watching this, thank you so much for making us feel so welcome.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
right, let's go off and find a beignet. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You guys enjoy this beautiful weather.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my friend. It's already, we've already seen a party bus at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And so you can imagine how busy and lively this city gets at night time. Is it just me, or do the cabs here look like police cars? Okay, so we've joined another queue. We found a place here, Café Beignet. We're nearly at the front of the queue.
We're nearly there, right at the front of the queue, and we're going to have a beignet each and a café au lait.
A coffee. Excited. Breakfast?
Breakfast. It's really funny because we were actually joking because we'd heard about the quantity of icing sugar. It is like a crazy festival of sugar.
Don't
in there.
sneeze. Oh.
Now all of this together was $18. So we've got a portion of beignet, we've got a pecan pie and two mid-roast coffees.
Don't breathe while you're eating it.
They're very light and fluffy. Oh, sugar. I'm going to be on a high today.
I'm not sure I've ever seen so much icing sugar. Mmm. That is so good. It's still warm. I love pecans, and I don't normally eat them back home. So when we saw one on there, I was like, we have to sneak in a little cheeky pecan pie. It's almost in like caramel. And the queue in this place just doesn't go down. It's definitely a thing. Well, that was absolutely fantastic. I think I'm wearing more than I got in my mouth. And yeah, don't wear your best frock, and having a black t-shirt probably isn't the best thing to do. But absolutely delicious, and if you do come to New Orleans, you definitely have to try a beignet somewhere. So we were just walking along, and Marianne spotted this free museum, the Historic Museum of New Orleans. So we just thought we'd come in and have a little look. Just walking around, they've got lots of history on the city of New Orleans. Here you look, you've got the old steamboat there.
It's just so lovely. And to have a free museum in a city like New Orleans is an absolute gem.
So we just went into this fabulous little cinema where all of the walls are playing a movie about the history of New Orleans, which is fantastic. And George, the guy we met with the organ, he came to explain that during Mardi Gras, this seat was actually his seat as a child. and the kids would be strapped up in the top here. There'd be space to put your beers on and just sit and enjoy Mardi Gras. And of course, Mardi Gras is one of the things New Orleans is famous for, and here in the museum they've got some good old-fashioned costumes here for the Mardi Gras.
Spectacular costumes. The detail, the work that's been done is so intricate. Look at the beadwork on this. Incredible.
Walking around the city today, it's just got such a different feel with all these little metal balconies and low down buildings. Yeah, we're really enjoying it.
Yeah,
enjoying
I'm absolutely loving it. It is everything that I was expecting.
Another thing that New Orleans is famous for is voodoo.
Voodoo.
And here is a voodoo shop. So we've come back down to Jackson Square. Hi.
Hi.
And you can get horse rides down here. They got lots of art. It's a really good atmosphere. There's street musicians hanging out. Welcome to Jackson Square here in New Orleans. And this is where the sale of Louisiana happened. The French sold the state for just $15 million.
And it was sold in 1803.
In the background, it is St. Louis Cathedral. It was built way back in 1727 and is the oldest still practicing Roman Catholic church here in the United States.
Within the noise and mayhem that is New Orleans, this is a very beautiful part to come into.
So we're just walking around the side of Jackson Square, and they've got various street performers here having a good time. Nice hat. Walking around New Orleans, you see lots of people partying and drinking. And it's one of those few places in the States where you're allowed to drink openly on the street. And a lot of people do. But apparently you're not allowed to walk around with glass bottles. It's got to be in like a plastic cup or tub. They drink out of these sort of things. Hand grenades. This is Bourbon Street. Full of live music, crazy drinking, partying all night. If you want to party in New Orleans, this is the place to come. One of the famous voodoo practitioners here in New Orleans was Marie Laveau, and she's actually got a house and a shop right behind us. Unfortunately, we're unable to film inside the shop, but it is definitely a thing. If you come to New Orleans, you should check it out. Okay, it's official. Bourbon Street is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it's after lunchtime now, so all the people that were woken up from partying last night have started to come out, and it's going wild. We've been told that you actually have to accept that New Orleans is a bit crazy and it can get out of hand, but I have to say, New Orleans itself is fabulous. It's just some of the people that come are clearly crazy.
If there was ever any doubt on how beautiful the architecture is here walking around New Orleans, check out these traditional houses. How cool are these? Absolutely fantastic. Hi.
Cheerio.
Cheerio! Walking around New Orleans, we've been looking out for street names and we couldn't see any on the corners. And then we've realized they're actually on the floor.
We're having a fantastic time in New Orleans, but I have to say that we're very aware that Katrina did a lot of damage and there are still a lot of people that are suffering and struggling and have lost their homes. So when you come to New Orleans, enjoy it, but just know that there is still a lot of suffering from olden days and still now.
As we said earlier in the video, New Orleans is famous for so many things. But did you know it's actually the birthplace of jazz? Way back in the day, here in Congo Square, all the African slaves used to come on a Sunday when they didn't have to work, and they used to play music, the rhythms that they brought from their homelands. And over time, this style of music was merged with the blues, and it gave birth to jazz. I feel very honored to be here. Another thing that New Orleans is known for is having its cemetery, its gravestones, its tombs above ground level. And that's because New Orleans was built at sea level and has been known to flood. So if you want a guided tour, it's $25 per person for a 45-minute guided tour of the cemetery. And apparently Nicolas Cage has a space reserved at this particular one right here.
We're just walking along and I noticed these white things in the tree. Look, I thought they were like spider sacks or something, but look, they're little caterpillars.
trees.
There's caterpillars.
So we've got our takeout from Johnny's Po' Boys. We got some local delicacies. We're going to go and find somewhere to sit down by the river and have a bit of lunch. So yeah, we bought a few local different foods. So this is the seafood gumbo. It's actually got like a lump of crab in it. Oh, that's good. It's like a rice seafood stew.
Po' boy.
Po' Boys chicken sandwich. Look at the size of that. I am so pleased that we ordered one because there is enough for 2 people there. Fried chicken po' boy. So po' boy is like a sub sandwich. It's like a big sandwich.
That fried chicken is so crispy. Oh, it's so lovely. With mayonnaise and salad in some nice fresh French bread.
New Orleans is famous for its Creole food, which is like a fusion of the Western, the Caribbean. I like the food here. Many people we spoke to said if you want a good food destination in the States, New Orleans is definitely one of the places to come. Oh, the wind's picked up a little bit now. Okay, let's try this jambalaya. So it's rice with some kind of sausage meat in it. Looks good. That's really good. Slightly spicy rice with meat, perfectly seasoned. Yay, we made it back. Trudy is still there, all in one piece, which is always good when you go out in a city. I think we definitely got our steps in today. Woo, my legs are a bit sore. Okay, Marianne thought it was unfair for Trudy to not go down Bourbon Street and to join in the party. So we're taking her on a little road trip down the crazy road.
Are you allowed to do this?
This is the Nuts Road.
This is the Nuts Road. Well, if we can do it, it seems only fair that Trudy should do it too.
Okay, it's official. This is one crazy road to drive down. Are we nuts?
We got to walk down it, so why can't Trudy?
Everyone's having a good time. There's a lot of drunk people.
A lot of drunk people.
Find the pram. This place is nuts. That's Trudy's excitement for the day.